Hello folks, welcome back to another book review. Today's video is going to be just slightly different to my normal reviews. It's still a book review, but it's actually 3 book reviews, all in one video. This is an interesting sort of topic as someone who studies history and likes to enjoy studying history. There's a certain part of history that us people like, and it's studying pictures throughout history. Now I've recommended, this video is also a recommendation of 3 books that I think are great to study history. The first one being The Color of Time. These are old photographs studying photographic history from 1850 to around 1960s, and basically takes old black and white images and basically makes them color to make them a bit more appealing for a newer audience. Now I'm just going to show you clippings. Now this book here, you might be able to get it in hardback, but I could only get mine in paper. It's probably my second favorite book when it comes to picture books. There's plenty by DK Press, but these things about these books is that they're more for, if you like this kind of genre of books. The problem is with picture books is they're very kid-like, most of them. These 3 that I picked out are not for children, really. They cover a lot more darker side of history. This one probably being the only exception, but these 2 cover much more controversial topics. So we're going to start with the first one. This one characterizes everything from the early days of photography. It gives you, every chapter has a condensed list. Now a lot of people are wondering why, you might be wondering why it ends in the 1960s, why not the 80s, 90s, and 2000s? Well, this only covers black and white photography history. Obviously after the 1960s they moved kind of to color, so there's that. This book is, I love it, I really do. You can see some fantastic photos in this book. I'm not going to show you all of them, but they really are fantastic. It is a much more deeper level of history, and it covers both American history and European history, but it just focuses on more historical events so much, as opposed to this one, which we'll get to in the second, which mainly focuses on propaganda. You can see your photos that changed the world, obviously, and we're going to talk about that in a second, but let me see, you have the 1890s, some famous historical figures as well, Einstein there. So it really is a fantastic book because it offers a more condensed version of history as opposed to some other books that they do contain photographs, but it tells history through photographs, if that makes sense. You do have your reading portion as well. The introduction in particular. What's great as well is it actually gives context about the chosen historical moments. So we have Darwin here, and it also gives like a snippet about what exactly the context is. So it's important that you read this as well. You may notice some kind of refraining going through this book because it also covers a lot more controversial stuff. I don't have a problem with that, and studying history, I don't think any of us should have a problem with that. The only ones that do have a problem with that is YouTube. So I don't want to get I don't want anything to happen to this video, so I'm going to kind of stay away from flicking through these books, but take my word for it, this book is absolutely fantastic. I would actually sit up at nighttime before I go to bed and just look through it and just become immersed by these old photographs because they're really just mesmerizing to look at. Old Ireland in colour hits a bit more closer to home. As you know, I am from Ireland, and it mainly only focuses on Ireland and the smaller islands around Ireland. It focuses both on a historical aspects as well, but also, and it gives also, just like this one, it gives a better connection to what's actually happening in the photo. The only one and this is why I think this is my favorite book out of all 3 of these, is because unlike this one or this one, it actually tells you the date, which is fantastic. I don't know why the other The other books don't do that. You have Michael Collins there. It also shows more culture as well. So there's 3 chapters. Let me just go back for a sec. See if I can find... okay, well, it actually doesn't, but the book is basically divided into these segments. So you have the Irish Revolution, then towards the end you have land, you have culture, you know, things like that. Politics, you know, just different aspects of Irish culture and history as well. You have W.B. Yeats there as well, so it really is a fantastic book. Once again, just like the other one, it is absolutely fantastic. There's the blurb there as well. The only reason why I think this is my absolute favorite is because, unlike this one, it's hardback, which means if you like collecting books, it's a very nice cover as well. It really does capture the old sort of Irish spirit. You know, you have the children here with no shoes on, probably taken in the 1920s or 30s as well, and I think that's just fascinating to me. If you do like old Irish history, this book is definitely something to pick up, and it goes far back as well. It's not like 1916 and beyond. Like this one here, for example, was taken in 1894. I've never seen a photo of Ireland in 1894, and it's Christmas as well. This is actually probably one of my favorite photos in the book. There's a photo from 1902. So it really is a fantastic read, and one that I would recommend anybody who likes this genre to definitely have a look at. The last one is Photos That Changed the World. Right off the bat, we have Martin Luther King Jr. here in Washington D.C., probably taken in the 60s. Now, I'm not really adept when it comes to American history, because this mainly focuses on American history. There's a bit of European, but it's mainly American. It is propaganda pieces, or, well, not really propaganda, but it focuses on photos that were controversial or were enlightening. For example, this with the civil rights movement right here at the front. It should give you an idea of what this book sets up to show and portray. It's still a fantastic book. Now, I'm not going to flick through this one because there's a lot of controversial photos on here that I don't mind. Okay, yeah, there's right off the bat we have a KKK photo. Trust me when I say it is, you know, it's a fantastic. Okay, that's not too bad. Mexican Revolution, 1913. So that's just giving you an idea. It gives you historical context there. I don't want my YouTube account getting flagged or banned, so I'm not going to show you any of them photos, but I'd love to show you them, but I just can't. So, yeah, just take my word for it. Okay, that's an interesting photo there. 1945 in Japan. That's actually quite a well-known photo. So this is the kind of photos that we're looking at, just famous photos throughout history that are shared through propaganda or to share a message, a political message, whatever it may be. This is the kind of stuff that you will find in this book, as opposed to this one, which just focuses on general history. This one just Irish history and different aspects of it. And this one obviously being with propaganda and just various other political and historical aspects. You might be able to get this in hardback. I don't know. It is only paperback, but it's fairly sturdy. It has a reinforced cover, so like it's fairly thick. So I wouldn't worry about putting this on a shelf, but still, I'd recommend if you can get a hardback, do get a hardback. It's on the cheaper side as well. It's fairly cheap. Usually books are on eBay, but I definitely recommend you getting it from eBay or wherever you get your books. So that, folks, concludes. This is a long video, probably the longest I've ever done, but that concludes my book reviews of historical picture books. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like. I'll be doing more books. I'll show you more of my books in my collection and talking about stories and history and things like that. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care and goodbye.